The Roman Gabriel Show. Listen to The Roman Gabriel Show at RomanGabrielShow.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Jack Youngblood here, promoting Gabe on the new
Roman Gabriel Show.
Welcome to the Roman Gabriel Show, RomanGabrielShow.com, podcast at American Family Radio, as well as podcasts on Roman Gabriel Show, streaming TV. Coming in with me. Oh man, I tell you what, there are certain people that you have on your show that every time you have them on, it's just a blast. And this is like old home week for me. My friend, I gotta say it, broadcaster, journalist, entrepreneur, philanthropist. What is she and who isn't she? Lindsay McCormick, back on the Roman Gabriel Show. My buddy, Lindsay, how are you?
I'm good. It's been too long.
You did 4 years of wildly successful elevator pitch, which was a fun show to do, I know. So you moved out from Houston to California. We've talked about this before. LA is a very interesting sports town. You being from Houston, much different atmosphere for sports, a little bit chaotic and crazy, but you got the Lakers, you got the Rams, Dodgers, of course, USC, which is back. So that's exciting for sports in LA. So tell me about how you love the sports scene in LA and how you've been accommodating being new to the Los Angeles area.
It's so different. So I've now been in LA for about 7 years, but then I moved kind of all over. Born and raised in Houston, went to school at Auburn University, then moved to Connecticut to work for ESPN after college. Then from Connecticut, I went to New York to write for ESPN The Magazine. From New York, Portland, Oregon. Then I got a little bit of a taste of LA because I would go back and forth between Portland and LA. Then from Portland, back to New York. Stayed in New York, and then I finally, after being blessed with the job of working with Sunday Night Football, I got to come back to LA full time, and I've been in LA for about 7 years, which the sports scene here is very unique. It's almost like we have so many sports teams here and so much going on that you don't have, and I don't really want to badmouth LA, but you don't have the fandom that you have, say, in Dallas with the Cowboys, or that Houston used to have, or Auburn. Yeah, well, college is a different animal. But I mean, USC, it seems like, I'll be honest, it seems like you have more fandom and more excitement around USC, even when they're having off years. Like this year, obviously they're back on top, but in the past, when they have had off years, people are still so excited about these USC football games. But the Rams, the Chargers, it doesn't have the same sort of fandom that you have in Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, even New York. It's a very different scene because there's so much going on in LA.
She's not going to brag about this, but she's a fantasy football expert. I've had her on talk about fantasy football before. How do you think this whole gambling thing, with the NFL finally giving in to the gambling thing, has affected fantasy sports fans and the NFL in general in terms of how fans sees the game?
It's weird to see how my friends and family now root for different teams, because with fantasy, you could be rooting for the Patriots offense and then the Bengals defense. And it's wild. To me, that's not true fandom. But with that said, I remember years ago when I would work for some of these networks, and it was so taboo to even say anything about
spreads or gambling.
Betting. Yeah, gambling. You couldn't mention any of that. And fantasy really opened the door for sports betting to become popular and accepted in the sports world with the broadcasts. So it's definitely been an adjustment for me to see that change over the years, and to see how big of a part, how much money the NFL makes off of this. They weren't going to shut it out for so long because of the opportunity there to make money. But it's been interesting to see.
The only thing that bothers me is when you see the commercials for the gambling sites for the NFL, and at the end they put the 800 number up for the guy who's got the gambling problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
to me,
wild.
yeah, there's something very wrong about that. When we're encouraging people to gamble on their phones every Sunday for games and all the gambling opportunities that are available online, and
Yeah.
all the companies that make it very easy to do. And then they say, well, but we want to help you if you got a gambling. Well, I mean,
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it's about making money for the NFL, and it
always
truly,
and forever, Lindsay, on that one.
I mean, my eyes were opened when the NFL has their breast cancer awareness month, their support the troops month, and then there was a player whose mom died of breast cancer, and he just wanted to wear his cleats through in a different month just to support his mom.
And they
And
find him.
they find him, yeah. So I knew after that, maybe they don't have the player's best interest at heart, and maybe they don't really. It is a business at the end of the day.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. So, okay, I'm going to put your fantasy hat on. So,
Okay.
are you involved in any fantasy teams this year?
This is the first year I'm actually not.
Oh, is that
Which
right?
I
So,
will
so if I was looking for the right quarterback right now, who would be my two quarterbacks I would choose for fantasy sports?
Oh, I mean, I think Tom Brady's going to end up playing well in the playoffs again after this crazy up and down year. Josh Allen, you can't. I mean, he in my mind is
He's like a machine.
yeah, he's the number one quarterback in my mind in the league right now. And then,
Well, Mahomes, right?
yeah, Mahomes too. But I really think Brady's going to step up, and I think they're going to end up as bad as they've been this year. I think they're going to end up doing well in the playoffs. I wish I was on the Jimmy G bandwagon, and I
Me
feel
too. I'm a Jimmy G guy.
me too. After seeing what a team player he was and restructuring his contract so that the Niners could keep him, and then taking a back seat and being the backup to Trey Lance, and then being okay with that. And then Trey Lance gets injured and he gets put in. He seems like a guy that's really put his ego to the side and is a team player. So
Well, he's
it's
Rodney Dangerfield of the NFL. I mean, come on.
yeah,
I mean, this guy
yeah,
gets treated so poorly. He completes 70% of his passes. He's a winner. He's taken him to the Super Bowl and the championship game. The guy never complains. He took a pay cut, and I just don't get it. I guess the only people that love him are his teammates.
Yeah. I well, apparently the coaches in the organization are coming around to him, and I've heard that he may play in the playoffs this year.
I'm rooting for him. Normally I don't get depressed about something, but I really felt bad for him when he broke, because that injury that he had this weekend with the ankle deal is not being brittle. It's just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, you get your leg stepped on by a 300-pound guy while you're moving one way and your ankle doesn't go the other. So, like it's Jimmy's fault. Oh, he's Mr. Injury prone. I mean, give me a break. Last year he played hurt. He didn't miss games down the stretch at all. You got to have two good quarterbacks today, anyways. But I'm with you. I'm a big Jimmy G fan. I'd love to see him win a Super Bowl and just shut everybody's mouth.
Me too, especially injured. So it'll be interesting to see if he takes a few weeks off, playoffs start, and then he really does play, or if this injury is worse.
Well, Brock Purdy, the guy who's taking his spot, Mr. Irrelevant, is a buddy of mine, trained him in high school and college.
Wow.
So he's really pumped for Brock for his opportunity, which he obviously took great advantage of last Sunday. So it's great to see a young guy like that. And but there's so many great stories in the NFL this year. And of course, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles. What an incredible turnaround that they've had. Everybody looked at them getting slaughtered by 30 by the Bucs last year in the playoffs, and suddenly Jalen Hurts has just blossomed. And there's a guy who's getting ready for a big payday now. He's making like 1.7 right now million, which sounds like a lot, but I think he's in line for that 40 figure this next year.
Yeah, I think he's earned it. I mean, the team as a whole has been just remarkable. I watched the game recently where they played the Packers and Jordan Love came in at the end. And as much as I have loved watching Aaron Rodgers over the years, I think it's time for him to retire and for someone new to step in. But yeah, what Hurts has done this year for the Eagles has been tremendous. He deserves the payday he's about to get.
You know, you a few years back had a chance to cover Manny Pacquiao and some pretty big boxing matches. Give me one of your best boxing stories.
Oh, I don't even know if I have an actual story. I just have never covered an event, even as many Super Bowls as you and I have both been to. Nothing will compare to the amount of media surrounding Mayweather Pacquiao. I mean, it was more of an entertainment event than any of these other sports events. I don't know why people took such interest in it, but I've never been around anything like that. It was just electric. I can't explain. I think I have a video that I posted, this was years ago, on my Instagram. And it's like Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield standing side by side watching the weigh-ins for Mayweather Pacquiao. And you can see the bite marks in the back of his head.
Oh my God.
And I sent it to my dad before I posted on social media. And I was like, I don't think I'll ever, I'm soaking this moment in right now because I feel like this is a great moment in sports history. The fight fell flat a little bit, but the hype was great.
Well, it's been a long time since we've had hype for a boxing match like that one. That's for sure. What do you think UFC's definitely overtaken boxing in terms of the attention and the fandom and the television coverage? And what's your thoughts about where UFC is going?
I do think it has. I mean, I know we watch it in our house every time there's a big fight on. I think Conor McGregor is partly responsible for that, and just the excitement surrounding him over the years. But it just seems like, obviously, these guys don't get paid as much as they bring in and as much as they're worth. But it's MMA and UFC are such you have to acquire a taste for the sport because it can be a little gory to watch, but there's definitely strategy and tactic in it. And once you're hooked as a fan, you're hooked for life. So it's
well, they're getting the pay-per-view numbers, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's
Oh yeah. But I think these fighters deserve to get paid more. I mean, even Conor McGregor, when you look at, I mean, he took the fight against Mayweather because he just wanted the payday. And it's sad. These guys need to be paid more. They're bringing in so much money for UFC.
The Roman Gabriel Show.
Everybody, this is Roman Gabriel, the president of the Sold Out Youth Foundation. You know, we got a real crisis in our country right now with fentanyl pouring over the border and killing our young people by the thousands. 300 a day right now are dying in the United States because of fentanyl. Number one killer of 18 to 45-year-olds, number two killer of 13 to 17-year-olds. We also have hundreds of thousands of pounds coming into the country in pill form that look like sweet tarts. And we are seeing kids are dying for no reason. Our government could stop this. We could get the border secure and closed down. But right now, the cartels are sending that over, the fentanyl over in every way, shape, or form. And parents, you need to be educated because they're attacking your kids on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, on social networking. These cartels are going online and they're putting these drugs up for sale, whether they be opioids or whether it be Percocet or vape, marijuana, pain pills, you name it. The fentanyl is laced in these things. So kids think that they're experimenting. All it takes is one pill kills. So parents, you need to have this discussion with your children about fentanyl and about no experimentation. So having this discussion is so critical and could save your child's life. We're going to continue to put out information. We just finished a fentanyl understanding program that breaks down fentanyl and is an education program that we can put into place in middle schools and high schools. We're in the process of making that happen right now. Don't be one of these tragic situations. I've talked to too many of you out there this year who have lost a son or a daughter. Right now, it doesn't take a whole lot for a student or your child to make one mistake, because good kids are dying because of one poor decision. So please go to soldouttv.com. And if you'd like to donate to help us in this cause to stop this insidious crisis that's killing our young people, go to soldouttv.com, hit the donate button where you can donate safely and easily, or text us to soldout at 484848, or you can get our address on contact information at soldouttv.com. Keep your kids safe. Go to soldouttv.com.
Lindsay McCormick on the Roman Gabriel Show, romangabrielshow.com. And Lindsay, let's talk about your Sports Illustrated show. So tell me about that.
So it's called The Bag with Rashad Jennings and Lindsay McCormick, and it is the intersection of sports and business. We keep seeing so many headlines today about sports business news, contracts, different players. We've been talking about Aaron Judge signing this huge deal in our house lately. And it seems like fans more than ever really want to know the ins and outs of the business, not just watch the game, tune in. Also, you have these major media deals now with the rights. You've got NIL, name, image, and likeness for college athletes, and you've got high school players now getting involved. You've got the transfer portal. Fans are more excited about the business more than ever. And I'm shocked that no one has done a show like this before, but I'm excited that they haven't, because that means Rashad Jennings and I get to be the ones to do that and to open the doors for more sports business news. And I just love him to pieces. He's been the best co-host and is so much fun to work with. He really gets, I mean, as a player, in his final season with the Giants, he did his own contract and got rid of his agent, negotiated it. And so he has an inside look as a player, but also on the business side. And I've been blessed to be able to cover it for so many years. So I think that journalistic background brings in a unique take too. And so also, you know how rare it is to have chemistry with someone on camera, and it's been
like
so
we
much
do. Like
like we do. We have great chemistry on camera.
Come on. Yeah. Now Rashad's replaced me. I love Rashad though.
Me too.
Now for you guys out there that don't remember who Rashad Jennings is, if you're a football fan, you do, because he was an excellent running back.
Yeah.
New York Giants for the most part. But a lot of people know Rashad Jennings from his dancing ability as the champion of Dancing with the Stars.
Yep. He won.
Is he still dancing, or is he pretty much retired? What's up with that?
No, Rashad, I've learned, is I also got to work with Rashad on Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch for a season. So we've worked together a lot. And we've known each other for a while. And he's definitely the type of person that loves to try new things. And once he tries them and discovers that he's good at it, because he's good at everything, he's one of those people, he continues to practice. He still is practicing his dancing technique. It's wild. I don't know how he has that much time. But
well, it's so funny how popular that is, because Emmett Smith always says that too, that there are some people that's all they know him from is being the champion of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, I think Rashad's okay with that.
Well, you probably should be, because there's probably more people that watch that show than an NFL game. I mean, back in the day, I mean, that when that thing was on a roll, even, you know, I'm going to admit it, I watched it. I did. I truly did. Just so you know.
Who is your favorite dancer? Who's your favorite competitor?
My favorite competitor. I liked the first couple of years. You remember Apollo Ono?
Yeah.
Remember he danced with she's very famous now. That's right.
Yeah.
She was kind of one of my favorite ones. And the guy was the guy from New York. The one that was so popular. I really liked him a lot. The one who was always kind of mean to the people that he trained.
Oh yeah, Maxim.
Maxim, that's right. So that's my wife's favorite, was Maxim. So yeah, we watched that, and it's very interesting. They had a great mixture of people, especially 4, 5, 6 years ago when it was really at its height.
Yeah.
But it's I always thought of myself as the potential dancer, but
Yeah.
my wife says only if they're doing disco. So you know, I was so close to where you're living now.
Yeah.
1978 and 79, I went to college at College of the Desert out in Palm Desert, California.
Wow.
Our training regiment in off season was going to 2 discos in Palm Springs.
What?
One was called the Chrome Parrot, and the other one was called Zelda's. And they just closed Zelda's down, believe it or not, recently. But we would go there, and we would, if you remember, disco songs lasted from 12 to 15 minutes. So if you danced 3 or 4 songs, you were getting cardio.
Yeah.
Big time.
So if they bring back a disco section, I think they'll get more viewers again.
Do you guys have guests on the new show on Sports Illustrated?
We do. We have a lot of guests. We've been having recently, we had a lot of athletes to start. We have a few really big name guests coming up that I'm really excited about.
You can't give us any hint about who that could be.
Well, I'll give you a hint. One is an owner of a particular NBA team, and he's known in whether or not you watch sports, you will know him from a very popular TV show that is quite similar to Entrepreneur Elevator Pitch. And
oh yeah, okay, I got you.
In my mind,
he's Dallas Mavericks, baby. So you got Mark Cuban coming on, huh?
He's the epitome of sports business.
That'll be great.
So, yeah, I'm excited about him. We have a few big name athletes coming on, but the most interesting conversations I've had on the show as of late have been with lawyers who are working with some of these families and players in high school and college.
Okay, so wait, tell me about that,
NIL.
because that's the one thing that they talk a lot about NIL.
Yep.
A lot about name and likeness and how much money these kids are getting paid today. Are you telling me that these attorneys are representing high school kids they're getting offered the big money before they even go to college?
So they're starting to work with players in college, and then the high school players, the ones that are like 1, 2, 3, 4 around the country, as they're starting to decide on where they're going to college, they have started to hire a team around them, which I feel bad for the parents because they're having to learn all of this
right
from scratch, and they're just thrown into this situation. It's a good situation to be in, but it's a lot of knowledge thrown at them and a lot that they have to know to make the best decisions possible for their children. And so they're hiring these teams of marketing specialists and financial advisors
in high school.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
It's crazy.
So what's your thought about Dion going to Colorado?
Ooh, I loved what he was doing at Jacksonville State. I felt like he was really helping to build the program there. Also, his kids were there, right?
Well, he's bringing his son, who's an incredible quarterback, to Colorado with him.
Yeah. So I think he made that move strictly because of his son and wanting his son to have a bigger platform and more exposure. Not that Dion didn't
he's
have.
got nothing to lose, right, Lindsay? They've been a terrible program for a long, long time. It can only go up, so he doesn't have a lot of pressure to win right away. And he could use the portal, which his personality and his recruiting style. It's almost like you have a totally different recruiting style now. The whole portal thing is you can build a team just like you would in free agency in the NFL. So Dion's going to be cherry picking. I think what's going to be interesting though is I really like the 8 or 12 team situation, because I think that 12 will make it more like the NFL, where if you're playing better at the end of the season, you might have 1 or 2 losses. But I wouldn't want to play Kansas State right now, would you?
No, I had to find the exact stat, but I think they said by expanding the playoffs to 12 games. Let me find the exact stat so I don't butcher this. I want to say,
and who wants Alabama right now?
Alabama fans.
I mean, but you don't want to play them.
No. By expanding the college football playoff to 12 games, it's expected to bring in an extra $450 million in gross revenue.
So you got to know that they're going to keep making it larger and larger, because you really, even with 16 teams, you're not going to have a team that doesn't have a chance to beat somebody.
Right. Yeah.
Especially in a playoff game. But I do like it better, though, because it kind of takes the rankings, which are, I don't like how they rank teams now. The press doesn't do a good job, and everything's dependent upon that first rating at the middle of the season. I like the fact that the 1 and 2 loss teams that are playing great at the end of the year have, just like Georgia did a year ago when they lost to Alabama, the Southeast, championship, Southeast Conference. They came back and won the championship, and you may even see, Ohio State's getting the same opportunity in the playoffs this year. So I really looked forward to the enlarged, field. Lindsay McCormick with us on the Roman Gabriel Show. And before I let you go, I need to ask this again, because I think I asked this to you years ago, but it's important. So many women in sports today have great opportunities out there. I mean, there's never been a better situation for women in the sports field than there is today. All you got to do is just turn on the television.
Yeah.
When you came in, though, it wasn't quite that way. So tell me about how it feels to be one of those women who kind of were in that transition place where women were still fighting to get jobs and still looking for opportunities.
It feels satisfying and exciting to see other women get so many opportunities in sports now. I mean, you have women that are starting to call play-by-play, which
didn't happen at all. Yeah.
No, when I started in the industry, which was 12 years ago, you had Susie Colbert, Lisa Salters, Erin Andrews maybe was in her first or second year.
Leslie Visser was still around.
Yeah. You had a handful. And growing up, I never thought, oh, this is a job I can have. I just knew I loved sports, and I knew I wanted to be a broadcaster. And when in college, by accident, I got to put the two together, and I fell in love, and I thought, why are more women not allowed to do this? Then I realized, after I looked at this, took a step back and assessed the situation. I realized, okay, it's because women didn't play the game. Men don't find us credible in terms of sports knowledge. So how can I combat this? How can I prove people wrong that I know what I'm talking about, and that I love the game and have the same passion as my counterparts who played the game? And I learned that in order to build credibility, I was going to have to focus heavily on radio, heavily on writing, which has been one of my favorite outlets, and build my credibility that way. And then if I could build my credibility that way, then hopefully I would earn the respect of sports fans when I was in front of the camera. And that plan, although I have to admit, most of it is God's plan and
right.
his doing and his opening doors for me, and nothing that I did on my own, because some of these opportunities I've had have just been so wild. There's no other explanation for them.
Yeah, but Lindsay, one thing that I've seen in your career, though, is you've been willing to take chances and take risks.
Yeah.
And in this business, that pays off. We have a lot of fun, and like I said, maybe, you know what I'll do for you guys out there? I'm going to go back and get some of the snippets and things from Lindsay and I, Super Bowl, some of the outtakes that you'll love to see. Maybe we'll use that to promote her being on the podcast and TV show. So we'll get people excited. This young lady has a sense of humor that's just off the charts. So very nice to have you back in again.
Oh, thank you. I think I actually have some of the clips from the Faith Family Football celebration with Chris and I.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the Roman Gabriel Show. And for more exclusive video and audio archives, go to our official website at romangabrielshow.com. That's romangabrielshow.com, and enjoy We'll see you soon.
Listen to the Roman Gabriel Show at RomanGabrielShow.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.